Hey, badass black girls, and they making big moves. Hey, badass black girls, nothing that you can't do. They are the future, I'm trying to tell ya. They want the best, no time to settle. They got the strength to handle the pressure. These are the queens, nobody better. Yeah, changing the narrative, that is imperative. They about to rock this. Tell the women that you got this. Got no time for people who are toxic. It's all love, good vibes. You know I got your back, girl. Talking issues that matter. This is badass black girl, yeah.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to a new episode of Badass Black Girl. Today we have another special guest. Brittany Conley is with us. Hi, Brittany.
Hi, how are you?
Doing great. Excited that you're here. So tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
My name is Brittany, and I am the founder and creator of Black Girl Affirm. And Black Girl Affirm is a blog slash website where in which we give affirmations, positive blog posts, meditation for Black women, specifically for Black women, to encourage, to edify, to just keep them empowered as we go through our everyday lives and on this journey to be our best selves. So, yeah.
This is amazing. When I found your blog, I figured, oh my God, I need to talk to her because I wouldn't be where I am today without affirmations. They are so important. And I wanted to know about your experience. What led you to realize the power that there is in affirmations? And let's start with the beginning. What are affirmations?
Yeah, so people kind of use affirmations and mantras interchangeably, but they're similar. But they're short statements that you repeat often or repetitively, just to help reinforce or counteract those repetitive negative thoughts that we constantly get in our minds every day. And so affirmations are really there to affirm you, to affirm the truth when we need it, when we want to berate ourselves, when we want to be negative. I post affirmations to help, counteract every negative thought that enters in my mind on a daily. So basically, that's what affirmations are, just short, powerful statements that you can use to contradict the negative thoughts that we have on a daily basis. And so, how I really got into affirmations was in 2017, I lost my job. Like, I got fired from my job, and I also was dumped in a relationship. So, I was feeling really bad about myself. And I am a Christian and very strong in my faith. But as I was going through this journey of depression and sadness and feeling unworthy of everything, I was looking through my old journals, and I realized that I kept going through some of the same anxiety, same insecurities for years. And so, one of the things that I realized is because I write them down in the journal, and then that's it. Like, I'm not actively doing the work to change. And so that's when I started incorporating affirmations into my life and putting those things that I needed to remind myself of to make the active change, to rethink my mindset around my home. So I created like a prayer wall full of affirmations and scriptures, which led me to the blog because I thought if I'm going through this, then there are other women who are definitely having troubles or issues or struggling with this everyday negative thoughts. So it started as just like a personal outlet. And then that's when I decided to make it more of a brand and a movement, and really get those like sticky note affirmations out to everyone, and make it more of a lifestyle, because if you just go about the work one time, it's not going to stick. And so that's why I like the affirmations, and I created the sticky note affirmations so that they're everywhere and they're visible, so we can make the real change.
I love that you mentioned your Christian background because, in my case as well, I think my first affirmations were Christian. Those prayers that you repeat, you're not really talking to yourself, but you are kind of affirming your faith into something. And
Absolutely.
I remember I was very young when my mom introduced me to Psalm 23, right? are walking in the valley of the shadow of death, and this idea that there are so many forms of deaths. Sometimes it's physical, sometimes it's spiritual, because you're letting fear conquer you. So I grew up with this
Absolutely.
idea that prayers could help, and later I discovered affirmations. um, you talked a little bit about your struggles, and I was like, oh my God, you being being fired from a job, and around the same time having to deal with a breakup, and yet you survived. Um, and that's what we do, right? As Black women, we roll with the punches and we survive, but it's all because we have techniques that we used. And in your case, affirmations. Tell me a little bit about how you proceed with affirmations on a daily basis. At what point in your day do you actually use those affirmations? And do you have to be in a particular setting? I know that some people stand in front of a mirror. So how does it work for you?
Yeah, I mean, just to piggyback on what you said about, using scriptures as affirmations, again, I believe in using anything that you need to reaffirm yourself as an affirmation. So it could be a scripture, it could be one word, it could be lyrics to your favorite song or your trap house song, whatever you want that was going to make you feel good about yourself and counteract that negative. It can be used as an affirmation. So, me personally, how I incorporate them is, every morning I start with a routine in which it's important for me to get my mind and my body and my soul aligned. That's the first thing I do in the morning. And so I'll start off the morning with a prayer, with a scripture reading, and just meditating over some affirmations in my mind, especially if I know that the day is going to be particularly challenging. I like to start the morning off with repeating affirmations. And sometimes I do this while I'm taking the shower. Sometimes I do this while laying in the bed, like with my eyes closed and doing some breath work. Or sometimes I do them on the train, to work. Wherever I feel that anxiety quelling up in me, then I will repeat the affirmations. And again, like I said, it's anytime I feel like I need them, but I definitely have like a set that I do in the morning and then a set that I do in the evening, just to help counterbalance what's going on throughout the day.
Tell me a little bit how it's been having the blog, Black Girl Firmed, and whether it changed a little bit your approach to using affirmations, and also the wonderful relationships that maybe you got to develop through the blog.
Yeah, so the blog is definitely a labor in love. I realized whereas before, like I said, it started out more of as a personal outlet, just for me to vent my personal frustrations. But then as I got to interact with more of the readers, then I was coming to find that, they can relate on so much of a deeper level than I had even imagined. And instead of me just venting about my personal things that are going on to life, I really kind of made this shift and the pivot to um, really give tools and resources that we can use on a daily basis. Like I said, I'm all about the journey to make us our best self. So, like recently we just did a post with a licensed therapist talking about how we can support our depressed friends. We know how we can help, each other during hard times, but we may not know the tools or the right things to say. And so for me, it's more about pivoting into being a resource for Black women at this point, in addition to making the affirmations something that we can, like, you know, keep readily available. Like I said, the sticky notes, the phone wall apps, anything that we can do so we can keep those affirmations visible, is what I'm about now. More shifting for that focus and not so much of the day-to-day writing of the blog, if that makes sense.
It does. And I got very curious just going through the blog, knowing a little bit more about your background. You're inspiring so many people. I got curious about the people who inspired you. So, would you please talk a little bit about the people who have been role models for you in your childhood or even in adulthood? What are some of the lessons that you've learned from them about life?
Yeah, so I would say definitely part of a strong community of strong Black women, starting first with my mom. She really is and has been my number one cheerleader for just not only me, but for my siblings as a whole. Just really encouraging us. And to be honest, she's probably the one that first started this journey of affirmations for us, because I can remember as a little girl, she may slip us little notes in our lunch kits, or like if we were having a test going on that day, she would write a little note on the bathroom, sink, saying, good luck on your test. I love you, that type of stuff. So she definitely is someone that I accredit to with helping me to be strong in the times that I needed. And not only just her, but also my grandmothers, my great grandmother. I definitely call on their strength and their love through ancestral prayer and power when I need them. And not only just those women in my immediate family, my aunts, but also the women in my church community in Texas, growing up with a bunch of strong women there and them being supportive. The women, the sisters in my sorority, and then my best friend. So I've always been surrounded with sisterhood. I'm very close to my sister, my biological sister. And so like I make it a point to connect with other Black women. Like I just cannot survive without them. And so for me, it's important to leverage those connections and to be together with one another. They definitely help keep me afloat.
You mentioned support, and I know that affirmations obviously are very important when you're having a bad day, when you're just trying to get out of the darkness. You also mentioned meditation, and I think that affirmations can be a form of meditation. I'm curious about other strategies that you use, whether physical, mental, um, whenever you're trying to recenter yourself, refocus after going through a trial or while going through a trial? What are
Yeah.
some of the ways that you deal with adversity?
Yeah, so I'm very much aware, even though I, use affirmations and meditation. I tell people all the time that's just one resource in your tool of bags that you can use to recenter yourself, to get yourself back to where you need to be. So in addition to affirmations, you know, I try to do some physical activity. I'm not as consistent, but I do feel like when I am consistent with my physical activity, I naturally feel better. Definitely being out in nature, big proponent of meditative nature walks. That's a great way for me to get recentered. And I'm also a big proponent of therapy. Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. I mean, it's so taboo in the Black community. I want to say that things are changing because a lot of people are actively talking about the need for therapy, the need to just take care of your mental health, right? More recently, we've had Naomi Osaka, we've had a few other people in that in sports, and celebrities who are young will have a following, so they know that some people will listen, talking about just make sure that you take the time to care for yourself, right? So I think therapy is definitely something that we need to talk more about. I always tell people you don't have to wait until you have an issue to see a therapist, that mental hygiene should be part of our daily to-do list, right?
Absolutely.
Because we take care of our body, we want to be beautiful and clean, and sometimes we forget that part of that regimen should include just feeling good about yourself internally.
Yeah, I mean, and people just like, life is hard. And for Black women in particular, we have a whole set of challenges that makes it even more harder. But that's why I go so hard in the paint for Black women, especially in using all these resources that we need, because we're the ones who are the backbone for so many, but rarely take care of ourselves. And so that's why I'm really loving this self-care movement. Naomi and Simone, using their platforms to make it okay for Black women to say, hey, I am not okay, I am not doing well, even in the midst of pressure from your job, right? Because we can say, oh, I'm not doing well here with my family and friends, and can compartmentalize that. But you don't hear too many Black women talk about their struggles with their work performances or anything like that. It's always this stereotype to be the strong Black woman. So I really appreciate them coming out and making that stance and using their platform to very advocate for mental health days. And like you said, just like as we use our bodies to get in shape by going to the gym, therapy, affirmations, meditations, whatever you need to do to figure out your spiritual or your mental and emotional alignment, use those just as hard as you go into your physical body. Because if your mind's not right, then the rest of it is not going to be right.
I want to let everyone know that you have a shop on the website and that people can get this fabulous t-shirt that says prayer and therapy and meditation and affirmations. So what better way to remind yourself to do one of those things at least daily than to
Yeah.
wear it, right? I love it. And you also have sticky note affirmations. And
Yeah.
what I like about those is that affirmations can be of course tailor made because we know what we need, but sometimes it's just a matter of having those little mantras that apply to many situations, so you're familiar with them. And let's say your morning is not going the way that you would want it to go, and you can use that sentence and use the same one later when you're stuck in traffic and you're losing control and you feel the weight of the world on your shoulders. So I love this idea of having those little sticky notes, um, and just being able to use them throughout the day.
Yeah, no, I love the sticky notes. I use them everywhere. I have them, like I said, they're in my bedroom mirror, they're in my workplace, they're in my car. And it's like you said, it's like sometimes we know what we need for ourselves to reaffirm ourselves, but other times we don't even know what we need, and we need that intercessory to come through. And like God will always send us a message. So like if you pull off that sticky note and it says, today I am bold and fierce, that was sent from God or from the universe or from the creator to help you to get right back in alignment with what you need at that moment.
Whitney, thank you so much for all your wisdom. It was a pleasure getting to know you a little bit, know what fuels your enthusiasm for affirmations, and learn about everything that you do to help our community. Thank you so much. I hope you will come back. I don't know if you have any last words for the viewers before we
For
conclude.
sure. Thank you for having me. And I just want everyone to know that, even though we may be feeling the pressures of life, you may be going through your circumstance and you feel like no one else understands or is going through it or have been through it. Trust me, there's not only just one woman that has been through it, but there are probably several others. So just continue to stay connected with people. Know that you're loved and that you're enough and that you're wanted. And for any resources that you may want or need, you can always check us out at www.blackgirl-affirm.com.
And here's an affirmation for you based on your very words. I am loved. I am enough.
Exactly. I love it. Those are like the top affirmations. I mean, even if you just keep those two in mind, it can be so powerful in changing your mindset and keeping you throughout your day.
Awesome. Well, Whitney, see you again soon.
Thank you. See you.